It was 1981, and I was 11 years old. My family had just moved to this town a few years back. The house we moved in was built in the early 50s. It was in the middle of the night, on a school night, about 2 a.m. in the morning. I woke up to a scratching noise. With the house being so old, we did get mice from time to time, but this sound was different, kinda like two fingers running across a metal plate. At first, my brain didn't register that I was actually hearing it, because I could hear it in my dreams. I was half asleep. I began to hear my doorknob rattle, and that's what actually woke me up. I always sleep with my door shut and locked, for this is the only reason that made me feel safe at night, and the only way that I could fall asleep. As I sat up in my bed, I could see that my door was open. I sat there listening, trying to figure out exactly what was making this strange noise. I could see into my hallway that was decently lit because the moon was shining through the bathroom window. I got up to grab my Louisville Slugger that I kept underneath my bed. I walked over to the door to peer around the corner. It must have been a full moon because I could see all the way down the hallway into my parents' room, and I could see the time on my father's alarm clock that sat next to his bed. It was an old wooden clock that was passed down from him from his grandfather. I got on my hands and knees and I crawled my way into the living room. I made my way from behind the couch over to another chair. I sat there for 2 or 3 minutes just listening. I poked my head from around the chair and I could clearly hear the noise even more now. My eyes widened as I could see the doorknob begin to turn. I ducked back behind the chair on my hands and knees and crawled down the hallway to my parents' room. I went over to my mother's side of the bed because I knew it would be pointless to try to wake my father after he just worked a 16-hour shift and he slept like the dead. I shook her, but she only moaned and turned over. I got back down on my hands and knees and crawled back to the living room to watch the door. I could feel my heart beating through my shirt, and my belly was turning upside down and was filled with horror. I could see the shadow of what appeared to be a man through the silky curtains. I could hear the doorknob turning again and mumbling like he was talking to himself. I sat, shaking in fear, not sure what to do. The rattling of the doorknob stopped. I could hear the lock click, and the door slowly began to open. I peeked my head around the chair, and I could see the man standing there in what I found out later to be just scrubs. I slowly began to back up into the hallway, and I crawled down the hallway to my brother's room and into bed with him. "What the hell are you doing?" he mumbled in his sleep. "There's someone in the living room," I whispered. "You're probably just dreaming. Go back to bed." Just as he began to roll over, we hear footsteps coming down the hallway. I could see the whites of my brother's eyes as he sat up in bed. He's always been pretty brave and daring. "Stay in bed," he said. He goes over to his closet and grabs his hatchet. We both head over to the bedroom door and slowly peer into the hallway. "Let's get down to Mom and Dad's room." Just as we enter the hallway, the man appears. Frozen like a deer in headlights, me and my brother and the man just stand there looking at each other. I try to move, but it's like my feet are stuck to the hard wooden floors. My brother steps in front of me. "Go, go, go," he tells me, but I can't move. The man starts some mumbling noise again, but we can't make out what he's trying to say. He slowly began to raise his arm and point his finger toward us. "What does he want?" I whisper. "I don't know. Go get Dad." Just as my feet come back to life, our parents' bedroom light flips on. "What are you guys doing up so late?" I hear my dad's voice. We both turn around and look at him and point to the man in the hallway. "Dad, look! Someone broke into the house." Look at what? We turn around and the man was gone. All three of us go into the living room and the door was still open. My dad goes over to our coat closet and grabs his shotgun. He walks to the porch. "Hey, what the fuck are you doing out here?" I can hear him yell at the man. I run to the front door and I see the man smiling and glaring at my dad as he continued to go through our trash can on the street corner. "Go tell your mom to call 911. My brother runs back inside and wakes my mom. She goes into the kitchen and calls the police. My dad stands on the porch with his shotgun aimed at the man until the police show up. They arrest him. He escaped from the psych ward across town and had been missing for a few hours after staff let him out for a cigarette. Well, what's good, YouTube? This is your boy, the Nighthawk. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to Night Stories. That was submitted by Edgar Williams out of Sarasota, Florida. I appreciate the story. It was a true story. Tell me what you guys think. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, he's watching.